For YouTube starting, we're live! Let's go! Time to promote it, because what else do you do, man?
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Hello, people.
You're waiting, okay.
Hello, Slapshot Hockey. Welcome to the chat. I'm joined by Captain Levi. You probably don't care. I don't blame you if you don't care, but he knows more about hockey than I do, so he's here.
Questionable.
No, there's no question. Just wait, tweeting it. Disease Master, can you put it in announcements of my server and ping everyone? No, don't ping everyone. Just at here. I know my server's dead, but do it. I don't care.
Wait, you had a Discord server?
Yeah. It's dead.
Okay, so are we just gonna hold on for a little, or are we gonna jump
I
straight in?
guess we'll just jump in. We have nothing better to do, right? So why not?
Yeah, I guess. I would think we need a bit more people in here, but...
Okay, we'll wait a minute. Slapshot Hockey, how are you doing? And Disease Master, how is everybody? We're gonna go over the recent trades, and who we think's gonna be dealt. Obviously, I just uploaded the video, about the buy, sell, or hold. So if you haven't already, check that out. Oh, that's a banger, in my opinion. That was a very good video. I think.
uh... The goal was to get it on, I think, posted on Saturday, but due to unfortunate events, it had to be pushed back a bit.
Yeah, by unfortunate events, we mean trades. That we had to change a bit. Like, we had Savard on there, and
like,
other ones.
People showing interest in Savard, and then like when I was halfway through the graphics and halfway through editing, he got dealt to Tampa. Like,
so that was interesting. The video was too long.
Yeah.
How was the video too long? I had to cover all 31 teams. By the way, hey Sajin, how are you doing?
Honestly, it was too long because it showed me with that goof up at the end of the video, where I passed it with the goalie right to the Preds player into the net.
Oh, yeah, the gameplay was his too, cause like I don't play video games. I should play video games, but no.
Yeah, you really should.
If I get Xbox Live, that would be cool.
And all, my heart was. Yeah, it would be actually.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it, but
Anyways.
It would be cool. Okay, I just have to make sure that I tweeted the right link for the stream. Okay, I did. Okay. Hi, everyone. 3 people. We might as well just start talking. Let me go to Cap Friendly and pull up the recent trades. Or, yeah, we'll start with recent trades. So, recent trades. Number 1, I think we should talk about John Merrill or Savard. Let's start with the Savard trade.
Alright. So, the trade in question, let me pull this up here. The Columbus Blue Jackets acquire a 2021 first-round pick that belongs to Tampa, a 2022 third-round pick that belongs to Tampa. The Red Wings acquired David Savard, 50% retained. From Tampa, they get a fourth-round pick, and Tampa gets 50% retained on that. So Savard's total cap hit is $1.0625 million, and as well as Brian Lashoff.
It was a weird trade.
They're slick. I
Um,
mean, I give them that. Yes, yeah, it was weird.
I think okay, Tampa Bay didn't necessarily need Savard. I think I talked about this a bit in the video. Um, their cap situation is very odd. I said I was jealous of what they've put together because honestly, everyone should be. They have Nikita Kucherov, one of their stars, on long-term injury reserve just so they don't have to pay his cap hit, so that they can get him back for the playoffs. Like, they just placed Steven Stamkos on long-term IR and then had space to get Savard. This team's already like wrapped up a playoff spot in their division, I believe. So they just have to make it to the playoffs, and then they get Stamkos and Kucherov back. And by the time they do that, they're a totally different team. I think that they have potential to go back to back. What do you think?
I mean, there is one team that I think that can beat them, that being the Colorado Avalanche. But they've obviously shown from the last 7 years they are the best managed franchise in the entire National Hockey League.
Yep.
They're gonna have Kucherov back. They're gonna be at full strength, I believe. So they're gonna have Tyler Johnson back on the third line, I believe, which is just really good, especially with Blake Coleman, who's just an analytical darling. They're gonna be good. They are going to be very, very, very good. And I think they're cup contenders. I think they have the best chance of winning the cup this season.
Well,
Avalanche and the Canes,
yeah.
unbiased here.
Let me just quickly go over their lines. They have Palat, Point, and Johnson. Killorn, Cirelli, and Joseph. Cirelli's an outstanding two-way forward. Like, he's such an amazing
He's the most underrated two-way center in all of hockey.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, without a doubt. Nobody's putting respect on his name. That could be because he's playing in Tampa. If he was playing in if he was playing for the Leafs, for example, he would be getting so much attention, it's not even funny. He's that good, though.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
He would be praised as the Patrice Bergeron 2.0 player.
Which he potentially could still be.
Could be, yeah.
Third line, Barclay Goodrow, Yanni Gourde, and Blake Coleman, and then the fourth line is Pat Maroon, Ross Colton, and Jamel Smith. So they have a good team now, but once they get Kucherov and Stamkos back, that's an elite team that I don't think anyone's going to be able to knock out unless they have a really hot goalie and Vasilevsky is on a cold streak. That's the only way. On D, they have Victor Hedman, Eric Cernak, Ryan McDonough, Ben Thomas, Mikhail Sergachev, and Callan Foote. Insert David Savard in there, and
David Savard.
Yeah.
The only weakness was that right-handed D. Jan Rudolph was potentially their best defenseman there. They bring in he's going to be a rental. He's not coming back, but they're gearing up for another playoff push.
Yeah, and they can
definitely make it. We don't know, but they have the best chance of doing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in their division, they are in probably the toughest division so far in hockey, and the one that I've been the funnest to kind of keep an eye on. You've got Carolina in there, Florida in there, Chicago in there, and Tampa. So like I said, they don't need Stamkos or Kucherov to make the playoffs. I think they're already a lock for it. Like they, they haven't officially clinched, but they're going to soon. I think they're tied for first place with the Canes, and they're 17. No, that's not 17. 13 points ahead of fourth place. So they're in a really good situation right now with 41 games played. So they only have another 15 games to go. They're going to make the playoffs. Without a doubt, they're going to do well in the playoffs. Okay, on to the next trade. You there? Oh, he's muted. Okay. They have Hayden Verbeek and a 5th round draft pick to the Red Wings in exchange for John Merrill to the Canadiens. Now, Merrill is a good shutdown defensive defenseman. I would be a lot happier with this if Victor Mete wasn't on waivers today, which just sucks. But here are his even strength defense wins above replacement. He ranks 4th in the National Hockey League in that. Credit to JFresh on Twitter and Patreon for that. He's really good. I feel like Mete would be up there if Mete had been given the proper opportunities. It sucks to see him on waivers because he could be that guy. And I'll always think he's going to be that guy, but Merrill's on a really decent contract. I think it expires after this year. Don't quote me on that. Okay, $925K, 29-year-old left-handed defenseman. It expires after this year. So, will he re-sign in Montreal? I don't know.
No, probably not.
Probably not. I'd rather have him over Sherratt or Edmondson, to be fair, but that may be bias.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this deal?
I mean, like you said, Merrill's a really good shutdown guy. He's been vastly underrated for the past couple of years. He had a really good stint in Vegas. He was part of that third line, which could absolutely shut down the best of the best. Especially that also played a part in that Game 7 win against Vancouver, paired alongside Zach Whitecloud, if I'm not mistaken. Montreal got a good one. However, I will say it does suck to have Victor Mete on waivers, where he's probably going to get claimed by a team that needs a really solid but a promising left-handed defenseman.
Mete's only 22. He's, like I said on that chart, he would be up there if he was given the right opportunities with Shea Weber or with someone else in the top 4. I think that it's going to hurt losing Mete. I'm almost 100% sure he's not going to be a Hab by tomorrow morning. So that's, or tomorrow afternoon if you're in Eastern time zone. So that definitely sucks, and that's not something that I would have liked Bergevin to lose. If he clears, he's going to have a good opportunity in Laval, and Joel Bouchard can help rebuild his confidence and turn him into a really, really good player like he did Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Will he clear? Yeah, probably not. It's the biggest question. I don't think he's gonna. Leskinen didn't play very well. Nobody played very well against Winnipeg, but Leskinen wasn't a standout. I would rather have Mete on my team than Leskinen. It just stings to have Mete gone. Obviously, hope he
and I think
clears waivers, but he won't.
He doesn't on Habs social media, Habs Twitter, Habs Reddit. He doesn't have that good of a track record by the majority of their fans. I would say not because he's bad, but because they have really, really high expectations for him. They have a they need a solid left-handed defenseman, and they don't have that. I would say Brett Kulak, but Brett Kulak's not a long-term option.
No, Cooley's already
He's
27.
more of a second. Yeah, exactly. They just have way too much expectations for him. They think he can be the.
Yeah.
Some of them thought at the beginning of his time he could be the next Andrei Markov or Alexei Yemlin type of player.
Yep.
That's not going to be the case. That will not be the case. He's his own player. He should be treated as such. He has a different skill set, a different mindset. And I'm pretty sure Jackie said something about him. Let me scroll down on Twitter. So he wrote an article about Mete, basically diving into his short sample size and why the Habs should utilize him more. Jack Hahn also mentioned Mete in one of his articles. A former analytics-driven hockey coach and executive. He was the assistant coach for the Muddies before the lockdown and worked in their development staff.
I'm sorry if Levi's cutting out. Just Discord's stupid.
Oh, speaking of which, what do you think of the Jonas Siegenthaler deal?
I don't know much
Jonas Siegenthaler, New Jersey.
About him, but to New Jersey for a third-round pick, a conditional third, and the condition is Arizona's draft pick is currently listed as conditional between Arizona and New Jersey. If the pick is not transferred to New Jersey, the third-round pick will be changed to New Jersey's 2021 third-round pick instead of Arizona's. I think they got this from the Taylor Hall deal. I can't think of another trade that Arizona and New Jersey made.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I know their second got confiscated last year. Their first did for this year.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about the third. But, I mean, from what I've seen from him, like, I watched him play in the playoffs. He was somewhat raw, but the potential was there. Think about, like, Victor Mete, but not really much more of a puck mover, but just a defensive defenseman. He played really sheltered minutes with the Caps, but he put up some really, really good results.
He's
on both sides of the puck.
He's only 23, and there is some room for New Jersey to develop him. They need some work on their defense for the future. Kevin Ball's coming up soon, I believe, and I know that they got Foot from
Ty Smith is already there. He's developing.
And Foot came over from the Lightning. I think he's a defenseman, right? Or is he a forward? There's two Foots. One of them's a forward, one of them's a defenseman.
Nolan Foot is a forward.
Okay.
Yeah, Nolan Foot is a forward.
And Cal is a brother.
Plays for the Lightning.
Cal is.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some room for New Jersey to be able to develop him. And I think they can. I really like this move for the Devils. 1 year left, he'll probably get restructured onto his contract, and he should not sign for that much, right? It won't be that.
I think he's gonna get Troy Stature money. He's basically Troy Stature, but left-handed.
Yeah.
And Boyers, but essentially. Yeah.
Okay, thoughts on the Nick Foligno trade?
It's an overpayment, but at this point of time, the Leafs want to win now and are doing whatever it takes to get to that point. And it's cover or bust this year. Jobs are on the line this year. If they don't get past the first round, Kyle Dubas is gone.
Yep. I don't know if they'll get past the third round.
He's built the team really well, but he's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he's a good GM. Mini Moo, hi. Okay, so first round pick and fourth round pick.
Weird comment.
What? Yeah. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Nothing. No. I saw this weird comment. It was like all that only to lose to Dallas in round 1. Like, what? Only
to lose to Dallas? What?
Yes, yes, you heard that correctly.
They know that
he's saying that Toronto will play Dallas in the first round.
they. Who's gonna tell them?
Yeah, exactly. He had 2 followers. It was a bot, I think, but it's still really weird.
Okay, so the full. How's it going, Minnie? The full trade with the Jackets and Leafs was to Columbus a first-round pick and a fourth-round pick. To the San Jose Sharks, a fourth-round pick. And to the Toronto Maple Leafs, they got Nick Foligno and Stefan Noesen. Foligno is 50% retained. Will he re-sign in Toronto?
Yes, that is right.
Very
he's 75%
unlikely.
Retained. He's 75% retained.
Oh, is he 75? Oh, Cap Friendly said just 50%. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it says 50%. No, Columbus. So it was one of the. It's the same basically move that of David Savard. San Jose takes Foligno's takes Foligno's contract at 50% retained. They then give that 50% retained to Toronto at 50% retained, making it 25% retained.
Interesting.
I mean, well, 75% retained.
Yeah.
25% of the actual salary.
I think that Foligno is going to be a good fit. Let's pull up the Leafs lines. Third line center, I think. Yeah, he's not getting ahead of Tavares and Matthews, that's for sure. So third line center, which would match up
obviously.
with it would match up with what I said in the video with Alex Kerfoot likely being out the door. So Kerfy will go, I think, to Minnesota is my prediction on who's in, or our prediction on who's in for him. So the third line would be Joe Thornton, Nick Foligno, and Jason Spezza. That's a...
Yeah. Yes, basically. Unless
that's a lot of youth.
Yes.
Like, that's a lot of young guys on one line. I don't know if they'll be able to mesh well together. There's a lot to learn about playing with other players.
Yeah, the chemistry is a bit could be a bit off, but I mean.
Yeah. So that's
at
the
this point,
main trade of the day. What do you think about it? Or I think I already asked you, but
they needed another veteran. I think they needed another experience. Actually, no, you didn't really. They need another experienced veteran, someone with. Well, someone that can bring leadership, grit, physicality, while also bringing in some skill as well. That's essentially Foligno's game. He has regressed this year, but he's still pretty solid. He's still a very solid middle sixer. Especially in their system. But they're gonna play. He's that playoff performer.
Yep.
Well, he's made for the playoffs.
But
the game style is just there.
With the way Keefe has been mixing lines, who knows? Maybe he will end up going to the second line wing with Tavares and Hyman. That would be an interesting line.
Yeah. I think they had Galchenyuk. NHL Network had Galchenyuk on the first line. I know they promoted him for a couple minutes. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I don't think he's quite ready for that.
I remember that Athletic article from... Yeah. I remember that Athletic article from James Myrtle. 8 games in, how the Toronto Maple Leafs rejuvenated Alex Galchenyuk's career. Which, I mean, it's not wrong, but it's just such a stretch, you know?
If I recall correctly, he had a good first, 10 games with Arizona. He made quite a good impact in Minnesota, in his short time there.
He was meh. He wasn't...
Yeah, but the start of his tenure, he was pretty good. He'll eventually burn out. Yeah. It's just how it's been working with Chucky for his entire career. I hate to say that, because I want to see him succeed even in Toronto, but it's hard to say. I don't think he's first line ready yet. I don't think they've rebuilt him yet. It's going to take a lot more work to regain his confidence.
Yeah, he's a streaky and volatile player, and
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
to say discount Jeff Skinner. I mean, like they go on like a really hot streak for a couple games and then just disappear for another portion.
Mhm. Um. So the.
Okay, Devin Dubnyk to the Avalanche.
Oh yes, I forgot about that move.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think they needed a backup goalie. I don't know if Devin Dubnyk was the backup goalie.
And they
But for
he
him
was
and Pateran,
kind of, yeah, he was
him for Pateran and a fifth rounder,
and a fifth.
I think it was.
No, Pattern goes to the Sharks.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I think it's a decent deal for Colorado. I don't know how much game action he's actually gonna see. But it's good to have some veteran insurance back there. Dubnyk being the guy, I would have tried to pursue maybe Dave Riddick or someone, but I don't mind the
Chris
deal.
Drieger. I'm not
Chris
sure if they're gonna
Drieger,
move
yeah.
him. Like,
There was a lot of
they needed
goalies.
someone to play that backup position.
Yeah,
Like,
the goalie market was fuller than it's been for quite a few years. Obviously excluding, I think Robin Lehner was the only one last year, and that was a huge name that wasn't going anywhere to be a backup.
yeah.
He ended up going somewhere that they split 1-1. But could you imagine just being in that situation
He's getting
anywhere?
the backup role.
Like having two starters, and that would just be the best situation ever. I was hoping that it would turn out a little bit more like that with Jake Allen,
problem,
but
it's the best problem you could have.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think having so much depth at a position, like, it can be a bit problematic at times, but it's a good problem to have considering you could you could trade someone like that for more assets while actually knowing you have some service below that. It's like a contingency plan, essentially.
Yep. The Montour deal. What are your thoughts on this? Montour for a third round pick.
May I just say that he sucked in Buffalo. He showed glimpses of success in Anaheim. He was part of that deal that sent Brendan Gooley in a first round pick to Anaheim. Buffalo got Brandon Montour at the 2019 deadline. He sucked. Like, he brought nothing to the table whatsoever. He was a massive disappointment. He was later replaced by Colin Miller and Andre Jokiharju in the 2019 offseason. Florida brought him in. They had $18 million of dead cap at the time. They brought him in to try to get more depth at the spot due to the injury that happened to Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know how much of an impact playing on Buffalo had, and I'm pretty sure he's shared time with Rasmus Ristolainen, who we've already said and already known as not a top defenseman in the league whatsoever. He should not be on a top pairing whatsoever. He just flat out sucks. And I don't know what effect that'll have. I'm pretty sure they'll slot him on a pairing with Mackenzie Weegar potentially, which could do him some good. Could improve his game drastically, but we'll see on that front. Okay, speaking of Florida, Nikita Gusev signed 1 year, $1 million cap hit, $250,000 technically, salary wise anyway. It's like the BOGO deal last year. The Lightning.
Okay, so Gusev. The next are Timmy Paneran.
Yeah, I said that on Twitter.
He, you know,
oh my god.
he didn't work out in Vegas. He didn't work out in New Jersey. Where was he before? Like Tampa or something?
Tampa, yeah, he was
Yeah.
drafted by Tampa. Vegas got his rights in the expansion draft. Uh, Vegas then traded him for, I believe, 2 second-round picks.
Yep.
I think, or something like that. Yeah.
I will say this
Listen,
contract
he was
is.
put in a bad situation.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because I believe, like, at the end of his tenure with New Jersey, he was used on the fourth line and scratched. Like, he was. Let me pull up his player card real quick. Okay.
P.O. asks, who do you suggest Bergevin is
He is
going to
in-
go? Just hold on, I'm reading chat. Hall, goalie, or defender? Goaltending? No. I think it's time Caden Primo starts tomorrow night against the Leafs. Maybe they'll put up
Just
some
see
goal
what you
support
have.
for Primo.
You don't have any to lose.
At this point, the Habs are losing their playoff position as is, so you might as well see what Caden Primo can do if he gets the right chance. I know that we know what he can be capable of. Him against the Leafs, I think, would be better than Jake Allen against the Leafs tomorrow night. Allen sat for like 2 weeks without a start, and then instantly has to come in and play 4 straight games. Not a friendly situation for Jake Allen.
Just see.
Go ahead.
He's very inconsistent as a starter. We saw that in his tenure with the Blues. Like every yeah. When last season when Jordan Bennington was the full-time starter, he was really solid with them. Like, he's obviously going to be streaky. Some nights he's gonna just flat out suck others, but I mean, he's not that long-term starter. He's that 1B option. He should be utilized as the former. And I think Caden Primo, he could be the next Bennington. Do I think that? No, he could.
There's always potential for that story. And one thing with Jake Allen is, well, I said that he needs a little rest out, and it was kind of a bad situation to throw him out there. Has he played a bad game since taking over? Maybe last night against the Jets. I don't think so. The entire team was just bad.
I will say that.
He had no help. 2 or 3 of the goals were terrible turnovers by Petrie, Weber, or Edmondson. He had no help defensively. It was just a bad team effort.
Just dish that tape on tape, yeah.
Yeah. He's getting a demotion for tomorrow's game.
Like, right on the tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do when Merrill slots in. Obviously, they've changed the D pairings today, finally. Ducharme has put Brett Kulak with Shea Weber and...
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Edmondson...
Listen to me. They had Michael Frolik playing on defense.
Yep. They did.
Right next, yeah.
It was...
Remember when Ducharme said he was gonna blend analytics with the eye test and, just go from there? He was gonna be one of those, like, I'm not the revolutionary coaches, but the ones that, that actually mix the new game with the modern era with, the old school.
Yeah.
Something like the NHL hasn't had in quite some time. Actually, at all, really. Have they?
I don't think so. Okay. P.O. also asks, do you think that if Habs don't win first playoff series, Bergevin is out? Yes. He's done a lot this offseason, but yes.
Yeah, I said that. I reiterated.
Yeah. He's gone. He's
on
done
the
a
hot
lot.
seat right now. He's gone through 3 head... Well,
what were you saying?
He's gone through 3 head... Well, I guess you could say 3 head coaches.
Yeah.
3 head coaches in his tenure.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the hot seat now. If they don't perform it's probably like you can make the assumption it's not Ducharme's fault. It's not really Tyrian's fault. It's not really Julien's fault. He just couldn't build a good enough team to actually put them in a spot to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the assumption people are gonna, take from that.
And it might be the 100%
Like, he's
right
not
one.
a bad. Yeah, actually, no. Yeah. Exactly.
He's a good GM. Just
So going back,
oh, go ahead.
fun fact: Jake Allen actually had a positive goal saved above expected. On Saturday's matchup, the Winnipeg Jets had 5.35 expected goals.
Wow.
He let up 5. He had a GSA of what is it? 0.35.
Wow. Like, I thought Allen played really well. He made some really big saves. Oh yeah, the team was terrible. They only put up 18 shots. You're not gonna beat a player like Connor or a goalie like Connor Hellebuck with 18 shots. Just that simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, back to trade talk.
Just no one.
Now, okay,
Alright.
Go ahead. Oh, just one more question. Who would take Bergevin's place? Before we move on.
Habs fans have this guy in mind. Carolina Hurricanes assistant general manager Eric Tulski. If you don't know who Eric Tulski is, he is this analytics guru, deemed by the Twitter populace and by, the stat nerds themselves. He basically brands a new form of analytics. He doesn't preach, building a team around analytics. He preaches having a team and then trying to improve their game based on the analytics.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a team like Carolina. They obviously bought in. He works a lot with Rod Brindamore in, personnel, how like the lines are going to be set up, that kind of stuff, to help them be the best they could possibly be. And look how well they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
they're top of the league.
They've been really shaky at times. Yeah. They're top. Yeah. And I think it just really separates. Yeah. You can say
I think. I don't like throwing it all on the general manager, but Bergevin's had enough chances. It's to the point where he made the decision to fire Julien, and it's not working out. So it's not on Ducharme.
Even then, okay, I'm gonna say this. This is a scorching hot take. I would have liked to see the Habs if they just fired Kirk Muller, because the Habs on even strength were the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
By far. On even strength.
Yeah.
Power play sucked. Alex Burrows, he comes in. After 2 games, they have one of the best power plays in the league. It's just that simple.
And now they're back struggling.
Because all that I've seen from Ducharme, he's inexperienced. What's the best way to say this? He's not ready for an NHL coaching gig just yet. Yeah. I do think he could be that Bruce Cassidy guy, just having like an NHL role. No one remembers it, but it was filled with controversy after controversy. And he goes back to the AHL. He improves himself there, and then he comes back into a coaching gig just to evolve his.
Yeah.
His craft. I was about to say game, but no.
Mm-hmm. I think he still has a chance to be a good coach.
Nothing has shown me that.
I wouldn't pull Joel Bouchard from the.
Now.
I wouldn't pull Joel Bouchard from the Rocket. They're doing really, really well. If there was playoffs in the AHL, they'd be a runaway for the Calder Cup right now. They're that good, and they're good. special teams, they're good in all assets of the game.
Yeah.
And Burrows helped mold that power play, and they're on fire. So it's
Exactly. He was actually pretty good at during his career. He was really, really good. He was really smart when it came to, especially in special teams situations during his
yeah, he
playing
was a
time with the Canucks.
amazing penalty killer. Was the main thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's just so resilient, but also really smart at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, back into, I guess, trade recaps. We'll do the Palmieri one last. I guess.
All right. Patrick Nemeth to the Red Wings. It's not really that big. Red Wing. I mean, did I say Patrick Nemeth to the Red Wings, or did I
Yep.
say him to the Avalanche?
You said him to the
Oh, okay.
Red
Nemeth to
Wings.
the Avalanche. Nemeth to the Avalanche. 50% retained. A fourth round pick. Colorado's 2022 fourth round pick goes to the Red Wings in return.
Yeah.
So I looked at this from Money Puck. The Avs, all three of their pairings were the three best pairings, defensive pairings in the NHL to date. So he's gonna come in as that type of guy. He's gonna be just depth, experienced, veteran depth at the position. That's all I see him as.
Mhm.
I don't see him being anything more than that.
No.
Because he's just, he's a depth defenseman.
He won't be used for
solid with the Red Wings, so yeah.
Yeah, it'll be.
If they need him, if they need his veteranosity, yeah.
Yep, I agree. The Avs look like a pretty solid team. On paper, they are a really solid team.
Mm-hmm.
With
Yeah.
Dubnyk and Nemeth, those are probably the only two moves, hey? That they'll make?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Because they don't. I mean, their main problem was backup goaltending.
Yep, and they've addressed that.
They have no areas they need to really fill. Exactly.
Yeah, they're
so
Sakic's built
there's no
practically
real
a perfect.
Leafs got Nick. Mm-hmm. Tatar trade ?
No.
Uh.
No, pending UFA. I think
there's rumors that he's gonna be scratched. Yeah.
Scratched when?
I think they keep him just for another. Well, I'm pretty sure I was about to say next game, but no.
Next game is after the.
Wait, when is the next Habs?
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright.
Okay, so next trade, I guess we'll go over the Connolly and Bjorkstrom and Stillman and a 7th round pick for Wallmark and Carlson. Really smart move for Bowman, I think. What do you think?
I'm gonna be honest here. Bowman obviously won. The Blackhawks obviously won that trade. However, Bill Zito and the Panthers didn't lose that trade either.
They cleared cap for Brandon Montour.
Think about it. So, yeah. Well, and Gushchev, they still have tons of deadline cap left, so they can easily pursue Taylor Hall without giving up any cap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just... I mean, okay. Borgstrom, he's a very solid prospect. Don't get me wrong. He still has tons of promise. He wasn't re-signing with them. Brett Connolly, 0 calories scorer. Basically, essentially the bargain bin version of Kyle Palmieri, just at a worse contract and just not producing. Riley Stillman, left-handed defenseman. They didn't see him in their long-term plans.
No.
They, and a 7th round pick. Lucas Wallmark, the legend, coming over in that Trocheck deal, going back to Florida at the deadline again. He's going to be a depth center. He's going to be on the taxi squad. Same with Lucas Carlson. They saved about $2.425 million in that regard.
Yep.
So yes, essentially, yes, that did bag them Brandon Montour.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not a bad piece of work from Bill.
Yeah, I think Bill Zito's he's a smart GM, and what I was gonna say is, okay, do you think the Panthers can make a realistic cup run? Like, are they built for the playoffs?
Not this year. I don't. I mean, they got Hornquist. He has experience. Ekblad's can be back near that time. Honestly, I don't think so. Because we've seen how hot Carolina can be. We've seen how hot Tampa can be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're either gonna have to play those two teams. They're not gonna get into first in the Central. No. I don't think. It's close, but if you look at the record against just high quality opponents for the Panthers, they've been absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, last trade that we go over is Devils and Islanders. AJ Greer, Mason Jobist, a 2021 first and a 2022 conditional 4th round pick for Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac. Okay, and the quote that the I think it's Tom Fitzgerald, the GM of the New Jersey Devils, said was, "I hope the pick that we got will be 32 because I hope both these gentlemen go on to win the cup."
Yes.
You don't say that. Like, you don't trade. Obviously,
classy.
They're two good players that you want to see do well in whatever situation. But you don't want to trade for the worst possible first-round draft pick that you can get.
I mean, like I said in my article that I wrote, you've seen that. Mm-hmm. It's chance. Like, they still have a chance of getting a franchise-altering talent or someone that could provide service for them in the future. Mm-hmm. I mean, this draft is quite possibly the weakest out of probably
in
recent
the last history.
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the 2017, but even then, like, that draft produced Makar, Hughes, Nico Hischier has always been underrated.
Heiskanen.
I mean, yeah. Nolan Patrick's the boss. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Heiskanen, yeah. He's overrated. Very overrated. But he's still good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that goes up. New tweet notification for Freeman. Okay, what the heck? Friedman, all he did was retweet an Austin Matthews tweet. That's not worth getting a tweet notification. Really? That's just ridiculous. Okay,
Well, what was the tweet? Was it just welcoming Nick Foligno?
No, it was Austin Matthews, excited to share my preview of my first NFT. Like, dude, during the trade deadline, with all the people that have your tweet notifications on, you retweet that. Really?
Well, with the old fan cam Twitter, I mean...
Yeah.
I don't know, they need something to simp over, I guess. That's all I get from that. I can't say what my real feelings are about that, because it's supposed to be a PG channel, but... AJ Greer, I'm just gonna point this out. This I don't think this really has any correlation whatsoever. I think every stat nerd, every analytics nerd, all knows his name, because if you go to Evolving Wild, his name is at the very top of the list in alphabetical order, which is usually what it's default ranked by.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing you see. You don't see, like, Alex Romanov, you don't see Alex Galchenyuk, you just see that.
Yeah.
It's just... Yeah, it's just engraved in people's heads at this point.
Yeah.
That's a steal, but in all seriousness, that's a steal for the Islanders. Just getting Palmieri and Zajac. Basically, you got your Anders Lee replacement, and you essentially get another Casey Cizikas, but with actual, just playoff experience, a veteran player, someone with, experience. They're gonna make a cup run.
Oh, definitely.
Well,
I
they're
think
attempting to make it a run.
there's a lot of teams that are going to take advantage of the fact that it's going to be an easier path to the Final Four than typical. Because you're facing the same team that you've faced
Player
all
division,
year, and you'll
so
be
you
able
know.
to know
Yeah,
their
okay.
number and know their weaknesses and their strengths and prepare for it. So a lot of teams are going to try to exploit that and make a big run for the cup. I think I had the New York Islanders making the Stanley Cup final and losing it. That was my preseason prediction. And it's looking pretty good right now.
I'm gonna say, uh, I'm one of those people that love and hate the Islanders at the same time. Like, they have the best coach. Like, they're not even really a good team. It's just they have the best, maybe one of the best coaches in all time in NHL history.
Mhm. Yeah.
They turned a team losing their best player, one of their best players in franchise history, basically having, I guess, Matthew Barzal, but that's it, into a cup contender within 3 years,
Mhm.
and make the playoffs in the 3 years. It's
Yeah.
like, it's just otherworldly to think about.
Yeah. So anyway, one thing I do want to say is John Merrill,
Mhm.
absolutely amazing mullet and mustache, like legendary. Legendary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Kind of looks like you, but like without like the hair colors, just
No,
different,
it
kind of.
looks nothing like me. Okay.
I mean, if you were like 40
Mete
years old, then sure.
Mete is on waivers and Habs got John Merrill. I I know that. Zaxi, yes, I accidentally cut the audio on um labs, but it should be back up, right? Can you guys hear? Okay, never mind, maybe you.
Yes. I
No, I did it manually. My bad. Um okay. So, what do you think the biggest move tomorrow is going to be? Who's getting traded that will be the biggest name?
Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall. Hall. I think Elliot. I will say this, however. Elliot Friedman said in his most recent 31 Thoughts podcast, he said that if they don't get a, if they don't get like a reasonable offer for him, they just might not sell him, and they may not and they're probably not going to re-sign him either,
Oh, there's
because
no
he
chance
said
he's going.
that as a GM, it's reputation. It's reputation.
Yep.
Do you want to be known as that guy that traded Taylor Hall for a third round pick and thought it was an adequate decision, the best you could have gotten?
Yeah, exactly.
Or do you look professional, well,
Why did
quote
you
unquote,
just see Foligno?
professional,
Oh,
and just
sorry.
do nothing?
No, but he got traded. So sorry, Thrash. But he's like not a Blue Jacket anymore. Um. So yeah, I think Taylor Hall is probably going to be the biggest move tomorrow, unless something unforeseen happens and just some team
Maybe
swoops
at
in and
home. Maybe at home if he gets moved.
I I'm starting to
I
think
don't think
more
at
and
home
more that
moved. They
the
have to have
they're just gonna hold on to him.
yeah, like unless like I said, they're gonna need a very 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 good long term move
Yep.
if they're gonna come back home, because they're on a hot streak right now. I think
Yeah.
they've won like, was it 13 out of their last 15?
Yeah, they're really
I will
hot right
say
now.
they've beaten up against like I will say they've beaten up on Detroit and Chicago and Dallas. Like, I mean, the bottom feeders of the division. So
Mhm.
it's hard to determine whether or not to really try to identify themselves
But they
within
should
the
be.
top brass.
I
But
think they should be fine to make
they
it
should
on that 4 seed. Are they gonna make it past the first round? Absolutely not. If they have to face
absolutely
Carolina,
not, unless something obscene happens. Well, actually, wait a second. If they face the Lightning, yeah, I think they may have a chance just because of previous circumstances.
Yeah.
Will they win? Most likely not.
Yeah. Thresh, yes I know,
destroyed
Angus.
by Carolina in every instance this season.
I'm still not over it. Well, you know what? I'm still not over the Max Domi trade, but thank you so much for Josh Anderson. Love him. Columbus not mentioned as a bottom feeder, big W. Yeah, the Jackets are an interesting team. What is your thoughts on Columbus' situation? Because they're 7th.
My actual thoughts or my PG thoughts?
Your thoughts. What are they?
Torts needs to go. I think it's time people realize his teams that he coached, they didn't win because of him. They won in spite of him. Let's look at the 2018-2019 season. Let's look at how much talent that team had. Oliver Bjorkstrand, Prime Cam Atkinson, Matt Duchene, Timmy Paneran, Sergei Bobrovsky, Prime Seth Jones, and Zach Werenski, and Ryan Dzingel. Those type of players, and they couldn't even make it past the second round.
Yep.
They beat Toronto. They're cursed. Everyone knows this. Like, it was a good series, but the thing is, like, that wasn't supposed to be Toronto's year to really, like, actually, like, compete for a cup, because they had that CC contract taking up some of it. So they had to. So this is the year that they really start to compete.
Yep.
Because the Lou days, like, he just spent all of their money on bottom sixers. That's kind of what he's doing with the Islanders, but he's actually being a bit more calculated about that.
Yep.
I still think he's the most overrated GM in the league. Kyle Dubas is the most underrated GM in the league. I think just bringing in Nick Foligno, that's a good move. Bringing in Riley Nash for a conditional 7th round pick, essentially a 6th round pick, considering that if he plays 25% of their playoff games, it becomes a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
And the cap doesn't matter in the playoffs, so he's probably gonna be their 4th line center, and he's a really, really good defensive center. Like, he doesn't do anything whatsoever offensively, but I think he ranks in the 99th. He ranks in the 99th percentile in the league on even strength.
Yep. Blue Jackets might be busy at the deadline. No, Ryan Murray's not even a Blue Jacket anymore. He's just a devil. He's a devil. Okay, Blue Jackets might not do anything tomorrow.
Because Yarmo traded him away for cap space. Yeah.
They might just be done. They've moved Savard, Nash, and Foligno. They might just be done, unless they move Max Domi or Cam Atkinson. That's the only
I see Max
scenario.
Domi. I don't see Cam. I don't see Cam Atkinson just yet.
Yeah.
Also, I believe, I think at this point, I think Torts just wants to get fired now. Like, I think he went 12 forward, 7 defense. He keeps benching Line or Roslovic, basically the two main pieces of the what's it called, the Dubois trade.
Yeah. They're gonna end up without Patrick Line. I don't think he resigns unless they bring in a good coach.
Or a coach that caters to his playing style, or a coach that he personally knows and gets along with pretty well.
Which I can't think of
we've
anybody
seen
from
how good he can be.
Winnipeg. Yeah. They just have to unlock that potential.
Yeah, exactly.
Yarmo doesn't move Cam.
At this point,
Well,
I don't think Yarmo...
with what Kekalainen has done, I wouldn't count it out. Anything's possible right now.
Yeah.
Please don't jinx it. If anything, I'm reverse
Yeah.
jinxing it. Trust me, Thrash. Anyways,
Yomo doesn't move cam. Yeah, I mean,
I think we'll
do it. Yeah.
close the stream off here. What do you think?
I just thought of something.
What?
Maybe Gus Nyquist gets
Oh
moved,
yeah,
but I don't
he's
think
there,
his
isn't
contract gets moved unless it's 50% retained.
he?
Yeah, is he injured? Hold on, let me check Cap Finley. Because if he's injured, you could theoretically put him on long-term injured reserve and save him up for the playoffs. I don't think he is. I swear I saw him on the IR last time I was tinkering with Step. But I'm changing and stuff. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He's on the injured reserve. With Boone Jenner. Boone Jenner could be moved, but I really don't see it.
Jackets are in a weird situation. I feel like I say that a lot with a lot of teams being in a weird situation, but it's true. There's a lot of teams that have been put in a bad situation due to COVID and stuff.
They don't know what their identity wants to be. That's what I think of them.
Yep.
They don't know if they want to be a contender, a fringe playoff contender, or an actual just sell just to get more future assets.
Yeah.
Because all they have is Yegor Chekhov. Oh, I'm trying to think here. Yeah, Yegor Chekhov. And who's good, don't get me wrong, but I believe wasn't he like a consensus, like, he wasn't even projected to be drafted. He's looking good really right now. But, I mean, I don't know about him. Like Russian forward prospects have often proved to be volatile. Like the Nikita Gushev, or like they sometimes won't come over. That's why sometimes they go really low position.
Yeah.
Valentin Zykov, Igor Gushev. Paneran wasn't drafted, so I can't really say him. Well, although I guess he is somewhat of an example of it, considering he was never drafted. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we'll end the stream here at 1 hour and 2 minutes. So thank you to Captain Levi. He's been helping me out with basically everything recently.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time. Go check out the video. It's just click on the channel and it'll take you there. Buy, sell, or hold, whatever team should do at the deadline. It was really fun making that, and Levi made all the graphics for that, and it was a blast to make.
Well,
and
most of the graphics.
I used one, but it was because you skipped a team, I think. Was it? I don't think I even used one. I don't remember.
No, I didn't skip the Canes. Yes, you did. Yeah, you used it for the Canes.